Hi, this is Greg Johnson, Director of Media Development with Blue Book Services. This is the Week in Review, and I've got Pamela Riemenschneider on the other side. Pamela is clearly not in her office. Where in the world is Pamela?
I found a pineapple because pineapples are everywhere.
Of
I
course.
am actually at the Culinary Institute of America that's in, I don't even know how to say it, Poughkeepsie, New York, a couple hours north of New York City. And I'm here for an Arctic apple event where we are working with some chefs to talk about Arctic apples push into food service this year. The company is entering the third year of commercial production, but they've actually gotten volumes to where they can start really pushing. And so they're trying to get chefs inspired to use Arctic apples. And actually, I put an apron on and got in the kitchen and cooked with some real chefs. So I kind of felt really cool.
Nice.
But using those apples, there's so many different ways to use them with the non-browning technology, and they wanted to reinforce that with the chef community and try to get more of them into food service.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I look forward to seeing your coverage from there. It definitely is not Austin weather. Do you even have a
No,
jacket?
I actually do have a brand new jacket I bought right before this trip because it's so cold, I can see my breath. So yeah, this is not summer here anymore. This campus is beautiful though. I'm actually out here. I believe it's on a river. It used to be a Jesuit community, so this has been a really cool venue to come out here and talk about it. And it's also New York, which is actually where one of our top stories from this week was coming from. So what is happening with that?
Yeah, that's right. We picked up on a story about U.S. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, who's also running for president, who is from New York, and she wrote a letter that talked about how farmers, especially in New York, are basically being treated unfairly in the produce supply chain, with all the grocery stores and wholesale buyers and everyone else taking a bigger piece out of the deal than farmers get. So, what did you think about that, Pamela?
Well, I posted the press release as is, and there was a lot of chatter on social media on LinkedIn. You should be following us on Produce Food Books LinkedIn, talking about, produce pretty much knows what it's doing. Margins are already thin. So where is the give and take here? It's valid argument that yes, the farmer isn't getting any more, and their input costs are going up, especially when we talk about food safety and audits and all of the extra costs that are going into that. Produce is not selling for any more than it used to. So sure, there's some issues, but what can be done with a USDA inquiry? I think the United Fresh Produce Association responded to the letter. Who knows if anything could ever come out of it?
Yeah, I don't think the industry is afraid at all of having anyone look at how the business operates. There's thousands of people in the produce industry who are experts, and they're happy to share. In fact, I'm going to paraphrase Tom Stenzel when he said his response, and it's, "Come look at us all you want. We know what we're doing." And
Pretty much.
the most important thing is raising consumption, not squabbling over who's getting less of the pie than they ought to.
True. Yeah, for sure. Another story, you posted this not too long ago. This week, we had some news about Amazon actually going further into grocery. And last week, we talked about Amazon Go and some of the shortcomings when it comes to Amazon Go. But what will this grocery be? I think so many people have questions about it.
Yeah, it's a really good story done by the Wall Street Journal. They got some sources somewhere on the inside of Amazon who talked to them without using their names, and they couldn't get a hold of Amazon. And as soon as I saw the story, I sent some messages to Amazon to see if they would respond, and of course they didn't. But what they're saying, what the Wall Street Journal is reporting, is they will have actual grocery stores, not just Amazon Go or pickup areas, actual stores in Los Angeles, Chicago, and Philadelphia as soon as before the end of the year. And then next year, looking at New York Metro, New Jersey, Connecticut. So this would be a huge step into the retail market. We would assume they'll have fresh produce in the grocery stores, but they didn't address it in the story, and they didn't address my outreach to them.
The
It
biggest
also said they're not looking to compete with Whole Foods.
True. The biggest thing I think we'll see come out of that is they will have Amazon order pickup integrated. The Amazon lockers for sure is going to be, because in dry goods, Amazon is a natural choice, especially with their subscribe and save. They're not going to dedicate a whole lot of square footage, I don't think, to center store items that you can just order online and pick up. What I think there's going to have to be a healthy presence of fresh in there, and then the rest of it's just going to be fulfilled from an Amazon fulfillment center. It goes along with what they're doing. It's a little bit different than Whole Foods. The other thing that I heard this week is that they're going to be licensing the Amazon Go technology to grab and go convenience formats like at an airport. And that is exactly where it makes the most sense, where you've already got your phone ready. You walk into one of those places, grab your sandwich, grab your drink, and walk right back out, and not have to worry about that bored cashier waiting for people to come in there. So that's always been in Amazon's model, is to be the widgets and gizmos behind it and not necessarily the operator. So we'll see how this grocery goes, because they would have to be the operator in it. I'm super curious, and I'm guessing I'm going to have to add that to my store checklist for the rest of the year.
Yeah, if they come up with one this year, you'll have to find a way to get to it. It's they've made a lot of market share gain on being disruptive. It's I'm a little skeptical on how they're going to do that in grocery. It's a pretty full market.
Yeah.
Amazon Go is not it.
No, I don't think so. I did actually, speaking of store checks, we saw the Stu Leonard's from today. Super fun store. I've got a couple more that I've stopped at here in downstate New York. This is not upstate New York. So I'll be posting those over the next couple of days.
All right, I'm sure our audience will enjoy that.
Okay, well, that's it for the Produce Reporter Weekend Review. I need to get back inside before I freeze. If you are not getting the Produce Reporter newsletter, head to producebluebook.com and sign up. See you later.